Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about astrological or zodiac sign compatibility between Aries and Sagittarius. Now, naturally, this could be a very compatible match, and yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Both are fire signs, could be very exuberant. They have a lot of energy and vitality generally, and they're really about spontaneity and extemporizing and doing things off the cuff without necessarily premeditating or planning. There could be never, this would be one relationship which I believe would not be considered monotonous or drab by any means. Aries could be, and Sagittarius could be very adventurous. Aries could be pioneering, innovative, likes to embark on a lot of projects, although, of course, as I've stated previously a number of times, may start many even projects even simultaneously, practically, but may not finish all of them. Sagittarius has a lot of enthusiasm and optimism and could be very expansive and will really can give a lot of positive energy into the Aries ideas and support many of them and give a lot of and help the Aries person explore many of these ideas with a lot of enthusiasm and exuberance and inject a lot of that Sagittarius expansiveness into them. And at the same time, what Aries can do for Sagittarius, Sagittarius can have an abundance of philosophies, and they could be very strongly into broad concepts and ideas. And what in a lot of times Sagittarius, being intellectual as they are, they may even have some original ideas themselves at times. And I think what happens is Sagittarius is often a thinker. Mutable signs, it seems like they tend to be more of the thinkers, but they don't always try to materialize or make their ideas come to fruition, or they let somebody else maybe do the work as far as the ideas go. So Aries can give that initiative and enterprise into to Sagittarius and pretty much get Sagittarius going and maybe follow through on some of these ideas, a plethora of ideas that Sagittarius may have. Now, both these signs can be very much enamored with the outdoors and sports. Sagittarius can be very, well, especially Sagittarius as far as the outdoors goes. Both signs actually, I mean, Aries ruled by Mars can be very strongly connected with competition, and Sagittarius can be about being athletic and sports-minded in many cases. So really, the Aries can be good for the Sagittarius for giving Sagittarius more of that competitive spirit in whatever they're doing with sports-wise. Now, at the same time, Sagittarius can give Aries some enjoyment in really something sports related, perhaps, which brings out the competitive zeal in that nature of Aries. So in that way, you could see the strong compatibility between these two. Now, in what I've basically been talking about is whether the relationship is either platonic or romantic and or sexual. So really, the thing about this is, as far as from a sexual standpoint, being the fact that that these signs are trine by sign, they are obviously very compatible, and sexually they can be as well, as both can have spontaneity this way and extemporize this way, not really, and have put a lot of fire, so to speak, in the sexual relationship that would exist in cases that they exist between these two signs. Now, as you know, Aries is ruled by Mars, so Aries can have a very strong and high libido, and Sagittarius, being the fact that we could say Sagittarius really is very, well, may broaden the horizon, so to speak, in this, and may inject some new ideas perhaps into as far as doing things different as far as from with each other as far as sexually. So it makes it a very good combination, and in Sagittarius can bring their exuberant and their really strong enthusiasm into this as well. So the thing about this too, though, keep in mind, is that they're both fire signs. So at times things might be a little contentious and disputatious from time to time because they are fire signs. But on the positive side, neither one generally is either vindictive or vengeful or going to brood over things. If there's an argument, usually it's not sustained, and the two will often reconcile very quickly and kiss and make up, whether it's figuratively or literally speaking. Well, anyway, it's important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between the Aries, the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person in Aries, and also the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person in Sagittarius, as this could indicate how these energies may integrate more in a positive way, or maybe not quite as much. Now, the thing about it is, in most cases, not in most, I should say, in many cases, you will have the person will have a trine aspect between these two people will have a trine aspect between their energies. So, let's say, for example, someone has the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Aries at 12 degrees, and the other person has the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Sagittarius at 14 degrees. Well, that would form a trine aspect, and the signs are trine to begin with, but this could emphasize and accentuate even greater compatibility in synastry between these two, because you have the trine aspect as well, and this could be very positive and auspicious and make the already harmonious combination even better. Now, however, you can have an out-of-sign square aspect take place between these people. Now, let's say that the person with the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Aries has that position at 1 degree. Then the other person has the Sun, Moon, or Sagittarius at 29 degrees. That would form an out-of-sign square aspect, which could be adverse or adversarial. Now, they're still compatible by sign, but you could still get a little bit more friction and a little bit more tension and exasperation between as far as these energies may go, because it would be a square aspect, and that will happen from time to time. Now, you can also have an out-of-sign inconjunct aspect take place between these two people's energies. Now, let's say that one person has the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Aries at 28 degrees, and the other person has the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Sagittarius at 2 degrees. Well, that would form an out-of-sign inconjunct aspect, which can also be adverse and adversarial, and often, and sometimes when you have inconjunct, it can be about adjustment between these two. Now, the thing is, they're already compatible by sign, so you do have that on the positive end, but at the same time, there might be a little bit more difficulties due to the inconjunct aspect between the two people. Now, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for zodiac sign compatibility between Aries and Sagittarius. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about zodiac sign compatibility between Aries and Capricorn. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.